Hello everyone, welcome back. It is Angela, of course, and welcome to my channel. If it's your very first time, a very warm welcome, and of course to everyone who's joined me today, thank you so much for making time. I do appreciate it. Now today we're going to do a little project in my secret garden journal, or our secret garden journal, so I hope you're following along. Of course, if you don't have this kit and you have something else you can use, whether that be craft paper, other digitals, or old book pages, please just follow along. We'd love to have you join us. Right, so what am I going to do today? Something in this little signature, but before I get to that, I just wanted to share two little new printed kits that I've put out. I have been asked for these and I've eventually had a bit of a productive week this week, so I thought I'd get to that. So the first one was one that Alison asked me for. So Alison, as I said, I'd have it done by the end of this week. This is a printed kit. I've had a lot of calls for this, and Alison now just sealed the deal for me to get going. This is a printed flower and butterfly kit. All right, I've added two new pages that I don't even have as digitals yet, but I'll get to that. Right, so I have added these little journal cards as well. Okay, I've added them in bigger sizes so you can make bigger journal cards. So I've just divided that into two. And as I said, this is a printed kit. Then I've added all the fussy cuts. So this kit is, I think altogether it comes to 19 printed pages. So you've got them in this size. And those, I'll just really quickly, these are the ones I've had before. So if you haven't had these as digitals, I do have them as digitals, and I'll put the link in the description box below. And because we are doing a garden, you might want to add these. There's lots of these that have beautiful colors in them. All right, so those are the first 6 pages of the fussy cuts that I have, which are in 2 separate printed kits. Then I've added an extra 2 fussy cut pages. So these are new. It's these, which are more in line with my secret garden. So I've added these. So you've got 9 here. And then of course these as well. All right, so those are the extra 2 pages that I've added in here. Well, fussy cut pages. Then I have taken all of those and put them into half the size. So you've got half the size because you might have a pocket or something that needs a smaller flower. So I've done that. All right, so we've got all of those for each one. So keep your fussy cutting forever. And I've put the 2 new pages on in the smaller size as well. All right, so that's that. Then I have added the butterflies. So again, these are available as digitals already. I've got this one. I've done it half the size because you never know. And then I've added the pastel butterflies as well. There we go. And that makes up the complete flower and butterfly printed kit. And as I said, it's 19 pages. All right. So that's the first one. The other one I've had a lot of requests for is the printed version of the altered book pages. So I did this for the secret garden, and it is available as a digital, so you can get that. But what I've done here is for people who buy printed kits from me, obviously want to add this to their secret garden journal. So I will offer this as a printed kit, front and back, so you can see you've got different ones on the back to the front. So those are 8 pages. You want to put 2 of each of these into each signature, so that will take up those 8 pages. Then for the mini ones, just getting to the end of the 8. Gosh, it goes on and on, doesn't it? Right, and then for the mini pages, you have a printed kit with 2 sets of mini pages. I have taken exactly like I did for my own mini journal. You'll get 2 sets, so 1 set at the top and the bottom, and I've printed all of those on this background, which is the one I used for my mini journal and is in the mini journal digital. All right, so that is there. You would just then cut that in half and cut out a set for each one of your mini journals. All right, so that is 16 pages printed both sides for the whole lot. All right, so those, go and look for those in my Etsy or in my website shop if you were looking for those. We have done those, so there we go. I mean, I have done those. Right, so that's that on that front. I will say I'm working on a new kit, so that's all I'm going to say. And I got so excited about it because I completed one page yesterday. It does take me a while, so I did the first page, and that inspires me then. I look at it for quite a while before the rest comes to me, and well, I've had a ball. Right, as I said, we've had a productive week. Right, back to our project today, now that I'll stop nattering. I'm not in my PJs. It's worse today. I'm in my shorts and t-shirt, so you know, that's a scary sight. I did say to the postman, who I know by name, "Oh, just leave the stuff by the front. I'm on my way down." So yes, you know, who wants to see that in shorts and a t-shirt? But it is hot today. Right, so we're using the signature today, and I have this page that we've already assembled. What I want to do first of all is take this page and swing it round. So that's the first thing. All right, because you know that can happen because they're loose. Right, so we're going to make that piece at the back, and we're going to use the larger bit in the front because I wanted it opposite this page here. All right, so that's the first thing I want you to do. Okay, so we will be using that. I'm just going to put that to the side over there and talk about a couple of things that we are going to use. Now, the first thing is you want to grab yourself a large envelope. Now, we're going to trim this, so you don't need measurements exactly. It's going to be based on the envelope you have and whether you're using an A4 or US size page, but the principle is exactly the same. All right, so just grab one of these and we're going to work with that. Alright, then I've taken this page from the large page from the kit. We're going to use this page to decorate that envelope, so that's what you need. I'm going to show you how to cut that. And then I've just grabbed, this is the piece remaining from what I've used. You want the lemon background page, so that's from the background Secret Garden kit. And then this is the dandelion seed, which is in the nice spring green color, so I'm using some of that. All right, so I think that's everything. On the paper front, we'll go through that in a sec. On the bits and pieces front, I've got a little bit of lace from my lace bundle, was the stretchy one, and then a little sentiment. Oh, I didn't do that. I've done that with everything else. Right, and then I've gathered just a little die cut. I just wanted a bit of 3D. You don't really need a die cut because it really is perfect as it is. I've got one of each of the little trims that I had in my ultimate bundle, one of these in the lace bundle. This I've actually cut out from my mini journal, the Secret Garden mini journal. I love a little bit of fussy cut, so there we go. That little composition. And then I've grabbed 3 tags. You want 3 tags. These are smallish ones, small tags. I've put in the ribbons from that bundle. I've taken these 2 botanical ones. I've just sewn a little bit of ribbon on the back there because I'm trying to keep it flat. That's why I've done that. So I've done that with 2 of those, the yellow and the what's this one called? This one's a primula, and this one's a, can't pronounce it, that one. All right, so this is a primrose, and this one says it's the sweet gum. That's what that one says. And then I've got this beautiful, lovely girl that's also part of that ephemera kit. All right, so there we go. That's what we're going to use. I'm going to put that to the side. Right. First things first. Right, what you want to do here is you want to trim off 2 sides. Get your ruler and scissors, or your ruler and your craft knife, or my hardware knife, but I call it my craft knife. Now what I want to do is I want to very carefully, you want to take off a sliver off the end there. Right, and the same here. Now this is a junk mail envelope, and I have already opened it at the top, so let me just get rid of that. I just use a knife and I slit it open for my junk mail. I didn't quite get to the end, yeah. So if you haven't already, you want to just might need to trim off the bit at the top if you've opened yours with the flap still on it. So if you have opened it and this, you know, this flap is still open, you want to stick that down and trim that. All right, so that's what we've got. We've trimmed here, and at the top, and now you have a piece that's like this. Okay, gotta love an envelope project. I was having, you know, withdrawal symptoms because I hadn't done an envelope project for a while. I think what I'm going to do before I go and destroy it is just take some glue and stick this down, so I've got no flappy bits going to impede what I need to do. Right, so if you've got any bits that are like this over here, especially on the flaps, just take a bit of glue and stick those down. Is there anything here? A little bit at the top. The bottom we're going to trim off, so I'm not too worried. Okay, this side I'm not going to do because, as I said, we will be trimming there. That just also reinforces that rather than pulling it off, so I'm quite happy with that. Now I've got my little template there, which I did before, just so it just gives me a few dimensions here. Now what I need to do is, and this is where it differs for people, is that my page is 1/2 inch shorter than a US page. All right, but what we need to establish is that when, let me just move that bit out the way, when you put it on to your page, you want to have about 1/2 inch there. What is that? It's not 1/2 inch, about 1/4 inch. Yeah, you want to have about 1/4 inch there and 1/4 inch there, and the rest, like that bit, you want to cut that off. All right, I'll get to the folding in a minute. So let's just take that. I'll tell you what it is for an A4, give you a guideline, and I don't think I've got it in inches. I've got the other ruler here. Right, I'll tell you. This is 19.2 centimeters in length. And I think in inches, we'll have to measure it in parts, so I'm sorry for that. You're looking at just over, plus minus 7.5 inches. All right, there or thereabouts. Okay, so it is about 1/2 inch at the top and the bottom, because my page is 8.25, so yeah, just short. If you've got an 8.5 inch page, you could do it the same. It's going to make no difference. All right, so that's what we're doing there. So that's what you want to do. You want to take this, let's close it, let's get it on our board. Hope you're all fine. Gosh, it's humid. I must say it is humid today. I am feeling it, and hence the shorts and the t-shirt. What did I say it was going to be? 19.2 or something like that. Right, so what you want to do then is cut that off. Yeah? All right. Now, I'm going to revert to the other one after I show you how to fold this, purely because I've sized and cut the papers already. Okay, I don't want to bore you with that. So what I want you to then do is, you've now cut that bit off the bottom. What I want you to do now is measure across the top there. So you've got 11.5 centimeters from the right edge, and in inches, what is that? It's about 4.5. So 4.5 inches from the right to the left, make a mark, and the same with the bottom, 4.5. You want to do that. All right, then open this up. You can score along it if you like, might be easier. Let's line that up there. Let's do that. There we go. All right, so you want to just fold that one in like that. Just keep it aligned with the edge, because you might have gone a bit skew, and that's okay. Right, okay. And then you've got your fold line. The original fold line of the envelope is there. What I want you to do is bypass that and take it to where you have just folded. All right, so you're not buff it up right against that. Leave a hair's breadth, lift that up and you can see, just so that it's going to fold down all right, like that. Okay, so you've got this little bit extending a little bit over, yeah, so when you look at it like that, you'll see. And you've got that bit folding in. Okay, now I don't think that that's going to work on there, so I'm just going to grab my other envelope and see you in a minute. Okie dokie, so I've done exactly the same thing here, just trimmed up the envelope I originally used, purely because my window was slightly different size and in a slightly different position. Okay, so we've got the same now. All right, so what I've done now is I want to use a piece of paper. I've got the pieces that I've cut here to show you where I've taken them from. So I wanted a piece to cover the front there but leave the window open. So I have taken from that, I've cut a piece. It's not quite the same length, but that I'll show you why. I'm putting a pocket on. Right, so that piece will end up going over here. All right, now all I do is I cut the piece out as a rectangle. I then hold it in place with my fingers, just like that, with that finger, and then I'm using my pencil just to mark inside of the window line here. I draw that with my little ruler and then I cut it out with my craft knife. If you don't have a craft knife, just draw the edges with the ruler, same. So I'm just looking, making marks like that. Draw them up and then you can put your scissors in there and get to the edge and cut that out. All right, so that's what I've done there. So that piece effectively comes from there. All right, then I've taken this piece to cover this bit here. So effectively I've just measured the full length of that and cut it out. That was easily done. All right, and then you've got this middle bit here which I haven't done anything with yet, so that bit can go to the side. And then this bit here, I'm going to use this as a pocket at the bottom on this side. All right, so I've cut that out, we've used that, and that's pretty much just about everything from here. Whatever remains I will keep and use for other projects. So we've got that, and then of course for this side I used this here. All right, so I have effectively it's a bit shorter, but again we're using this as a pocket, so you don't need to worry about that. So I've just put that there to measure it off. Now the easier way to do that is to effectively take a piece, this piece that you've cut out from the front. All right, what you want to do is turn it over, place it on here like that, get it to the top, and draw your little frame like that where you've cut it out. And of course you want to make sure it's level with the edges everywhere, and then you want to just cut that straight down. All right, that when you cut it out will then give you this. So I've cut it out already, you can see, because that is exactly what I did. I just did that. All right, and effectively that will now fit onto that side over here. Right, so that's what we're going to do there. Then our little pocket will end up going over there. All right, shall we I'll stick those on quickly and then I'll talk you through what we are going to do over there. So let's get to it. I think I will start with the side, seeing it's open. Now if you don't have an envelope, you can always use just paper like this and sandwich the two, the front and the back, together with a little bit of vellum or acetate or tracing paper or whatever you have. So you know, you can do that as well. You don't have to make it long-winded like I have. Now with this I'm going to just, and I love that side as well. It was a reprint, so I'm just going to go to the edge here just to make sure the edges are going to really stick down nicely. I'm going to use the edges here as a guide. Let's turn it around so I can see what I'm doing. And you want to get it into that edge there, and hopefully it's in place. Now you want to make sure it hasn't gone into the fold. Gosh, that was a good drop. Perfection. Right, there we go. All right, fabulous. Then you want to take your little piece, that's just that strip I showed you. I'm going to stick that like that as a pocket. So just going to take this side and go like this. So yeah, we're pretty much using that one page to do most of what we need to for this little project today, which I don't know quite at the minute what I'm calling it, but I'll get there by the time I've edited it. So there's that one, and I love how that's turned out, right? And you can see when you look through there, I didn't take it to the edge of the window, which you don't need to do. Now with any luck, this should fit exactly where this one is, with any luck. Yeah, well, it looks like it's gonna. So we're all right. Okay, so we want to get some glue on this one. Okay, let's be careful now when we get this. I'm using the one underneath as my template. I did check before, so I think that I had it right, and we want to just get that on the top there as well. Okay, now it's also a bit shorter because of where I was placing it, but that doesn't matter. Now we're making this nice and firm. That is on the edge there, so just take your distress ink and go over the edges for any white that might be sticking out. Now I had distressed all of that beforehand. Now with this one, I'm just taking a little piece of green. That was the green I shared, and I'm going to make a shallow little pocket over there. I do love the colors of this kit. One of my favorites. I know I say that a lot, but every time I do one, I come up with some other combinations, and I, you know, like to surprise myself. Okay, so far so good. We've got the flat bit pretty much done. We've got this bit, and you can see a little bit of blue coming through, and that's good. What I'm going to do with that is take my distress dauber thing and get that in there, so it sort of just takes a little bit away from the blue. You can stick something there if you want, but I'm not going to. Right, now we've got this bit here, and I want you to fold that over. I want to make 3 pockets here, and what I'm going to do is I am going to use my sewing machine. Now you can use your glue to do it, and before you stick it down, I would suggest that you measure. Now I can see my measurements from the underside. I can see it's here, and I can see that it's here. All right, so I did measure 3 even spaces on mine. You can see my workings out. It was 6.3 centimeters. All right, so I did that. You can do that yourself, and if you were going to glue it, I would measure it out and draw the lines in there, just so that you know how you're gluing, that it's straight. That's the important bit. All right, so if you are going to glue it, draw the lines in all the way on that edge, up there and up there. That's what you need to do for the gluing, and then you can place it down. All right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to sew. So I'm going to start there, go all the way down and sew down there, and I'm doing that before I place this on. All right, then when I come back, I'll slit the edge. This, keeping it folded like this, is just going to allow it to stay in place for a little bit longer. All right, so I will be with you in a mo. Okay, so here you can see I have just stitched along there like that and up and down. Now I haven't gone quite to the edge, because like I said, I'm going to take an absolute hair's breadth off the end of this now, just to open up those pockets. If you want to glue, go ahead, but I find that gluing does make the pockets, because it spreads and it makes the pocket a little bit narrow, so just bear that in mind if you're going to glue. Perhaps make your 19 centimeters or your 7.5 inches 8, you know, so just bear that in mind. Right, so I've got that open now, so we have now effectively got 3 pockets there, one in there, one in there, and one in there. All right, now I do that before because I don't want to deface from this picture, and it's nice to have this little compartment that you didn't think was there because you haven't sewn on the top of it. So I like to do that as like a little secret bit. Right, now we're ready to stick this on, so we can do that. Right, we want to get that down, so I'm going right to the edge here, and again make sure it's not in that fold line as much as possible, and then get it up to the top. Let's just see it before I press it down. Move that over. There we go. I think that's how I want it. And we can use our bone folder there. Right, so on these little white bits that stick out like that, just take your distress. This is where distress inks are fantastic. It's for stuff like that. Now what you can do, and I think we'll do it, I'm going to use my circle punch. I'm going to go on the underside so I can space this properly, and this is perfect. This one is a 1 3/4 inch, but any size will do, even a 1 inch. I'm going to take make a little bit of a thumb notch, so not much. Now I suppose if I'm being clever and we want the same kind of a depth for this, you could just take what's cut off here as a guide, just so that I can use it for the depth more than anything. And this is me being ridiculous, isn't it? But I don't want them to be different depths, so it's really the depth of it that I'm looking at. So I'm getting it's centralized here, and I can see. So it's, oh, that was my skin. Oh, I've opened the window, so Mr. B, you can go out. Right, there we go. All of that off, and now when you turn it over, they're the same. All right, so there we go. So you've got your little pockets over here now, 3 of them, like that. Yeah, and turn that over, and that's lying beautifully and flat. Now that's a first for me, isn't it? Right, let's do this, a little bit of this. Get rid of those white glaring pieces, which I'm not a fan of. Right, I'm going to put a few bits on here. I've got my little lace. This is the stretchy one, but I like it. There we go. I'm going to stick that on there, but just decorate that up a little bit. And then I'm going to use my little fussy cut that was in my mini kit. And I did go and cut out yesterday. I went and cut out my tags and bits, the ephemera bits for my secret journal mini kit, mini journal, because I like using the two together. You know, I might use an envelope from there in here and all sorts of things. So if you've got it, we'll use it. Okay, I just want to angle this like that. All right, and then I've got my little goodie. Now, as I said, this was so pretty. There isn't really this isn't a necessity, but I just wanted to add a little bit of depth and texture, so it's dimensions, the word, to the picture. So I'm just putting a very little one of these on. I've got the small little butterfly, which is in the butterfly kit, digital or printed now, so I can go either. And I'm just going to put that over there like that. And then, because I love the little bits and pieces, what was the other thing I was going to do? Oh yes, come here. I've got that little bit again from the lace bundle. This is all from this whole collection, you know. I've got it all next to me, and I just wanted a little bit of one of these over there, and then and then she says, we've got this little sentiment, colors are the smiles of nature. Isn't that just lovely? Lee Hunt. Well done, Lee. I like that. Just get a bit of glue on that one. Is there any glue going on here? The glue plays up in hot weather, I have noticed that. Right, I'm going to get that stuck just there. Fabulous. Okay. Right, we are ready to go and put this onto our journal page. So I'm going to just grab this quickly. And you can see now, I thought that was a perfect place to put this. Now I'm not going to stencil because they've got a lot going on. And I thought just with the lace page there, that is just perfect. So I switched the two around. Right, now I'm going to move this slightly to the left. I'm going to use my pencil and I'm going to take this page out. Things work a lot easier when they are flat. Right, so I'm going 1/2 inch from the spine line. Okay. And I'm getting my page straight on here. Now I do that because our tags are going to stick out there. So we're going to have a little pencil line here and a little pencil line here. And that means when I stick this down, I know where it's going to go. Right, without worrying about it too much. So I'm going to take this bit now and we can stick this down completely. Find those lines so you don't have to have a little panic like I would normally, because we know where our markers are now. So just use those, yeah, and then open that up and give it a nice press with your hand. My hands are gone dead. Nice opportunity to give them a move. Right, there we go. So we've got that there. Okay, right, so it's looking good, isn't it? So far so good. Right, let's take our little tags. So I've got the 3 little tags here, 3 little pigs. Got all sorts of funny things in my head today. Right, I've got the angel, the mushrooms and the rabbits. I'll put the angel in the middle. We'll put them like that. Right, so we want to just, hopefully they fit. Oh my goodness. Right, so we've got one there. We've got one. Don't play up. We've got one over here. And we've got one over here. There we go. How sweet is that? You see, and they just peek out. So I'm going to pull them just a little bit longer so that the little eyelet bit is not impeding it lying flat. And I like ribbons sticking over the edge. I think it gives it character. Okay, so we've got that there and it's looking gorgeous. And then on the inside, I love that as it was. You could stick another sentiment there. I'm using one of these and this little bit to go on the, that one's going on the front. These two to go in over here. So I want to get that close to the edge, and this one can go a little bit further along. Right, so it's slightly lapping there. What I wanted to do here, I did want to stick that on there, but I think that it's going to not allow it to lie flat. So I thought I'd take a yellow daisy and stick it on that one, because that one's going on the front. So let's do that. And we'll stick you over there. Perfect. So how flat is that now? For me, that's a miracle. You know, like all sorts of things going on. Right, so we can get that one stuck down there. And what I like about that is you've got a bit of the bench shining through the window. Isn't that nice? Okay, you've got a little bit of that there, but that's minor. That's the card from the one below. And then we've got that one in there. And I just love that. Right, we could take that and stick it over there. We could, but we're not. I think that's it. I'm happy with it as it is. So it can now go back into our book. Yeah, like that. And isn't that just amazing? It's lovely with those little 3 things sticking over the edge. All right, everybody, that is our little Friday project. Give you something to keep you busy over the weekend. I hope that you've enjoyed it. I did have fun with it. I'm bending the card. I hope you give it a try. I'd love to see what you do with yours, so come and put your contributions, whether it's with the same paper or with a different paper and you've done the same project. I'd love to see it in my Facebook group, so please come and join us if you haven't already and share. We love seeing what you make, and I love the inspiration I get from others and inspiring you, so please come and do so. Yeah, and don't forget, if you were looking for the printed pages, as I said, for the altered book pages that go with that journal, or the mini, which are those little ones at the back, then you'll find those in my website shop or Etsy, and the same with this printed kit, the flowers and butterflies. Have a fantastic weekend. I will be putting some new things in my shop coming very soon, next week, so look out for those, but I'll share that with you probably on Tuesday. Have a lovely weekend, and I will see you on Sunday for a quick and easy little project. Have a great one, guys, and thank you so much for your kindness and support. Bye bye.